Just to kind of start off a little bit, what kind of responses are you hearing from your community right now with what's everything that's going on?
The community itself, there's a sense of fears and sense of worrisome, both the safety wise. Even people worry about people even have a citizen status. Are they going to be harassed or being 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 going out there? They always carry the identity, including myself. I never had to worry about it unless I'm going to the border or taking a flight to carry my citizenship status. But nowadays, I keep my passport ID in the wallet every day, just like my credit card and other necessary things to live every day. So that's a new thing. That worrisome thing is both what's going to happen from the uh, when you go out there in the streets, and also individuals who really take by heart the rhetoric.
With this scandal that's happening and the fraud that is being detected, are you concerned that that same type of thing could happen here where Somali businesses are found to, if there are businesses that are committing fraud that happen to be Somali, are you worried that this will cause even more pushback here?
Let's bear in mind. I mean, there are about maybe about less than 60 people out of the over 100,000 people that live in Minneapolis are involved in this scandals thing going on. So it's portion of the community. Every community has the good, the bad, and the ugly among us. So I will not be surprised if individuals are violating the law, but in general, people are lawful in general follow the law. And that's what's SACO is actually one of the things we do is we've been stand up to train people and remind people or help people how to become better citizens, and that's including staying out of any unlawful thing to do. But of course, like every society, you will have the good ones, the bad ones, and the ugly ones among us. So I'm not saying that we're perfect, but we'll have but in general, people, majority of the people are good citizens, law-abiding citizens. Majority of people are actually 87%, I think the last numbers are citizens, and the rest of them are most of them have green card. So the tiny minute that actually have a TPS status.
I'm so sorry. I was trying to close the door because I'm getting a little bit of
It's
noise here. I
it's
just want to
okay.
make sure there's no interference. I apologize. Um, and when you're saying that, this, of course, has become a very politicized topic. What is your take with that, and where do you guys stand on this, political divide right now that we're seeing in our country?
I mean, it's difficult times. It's somebody who lived here for last since when John Reagan was president for about 7 months, who have seen the politics of America. This is unprecedented. This is a new level of what this country is going to as American citizens who have lived on 4 decades of America and very concerned and very worrisome. Anything that divides Americans by race or by ethnicity or religion is always something that worries me, because at the end of the day, we all live in the same living room, the same country, America. So that's always concerning to me in general, and especially when this is it being directed to specific small, minute ethnic groups. A super minority is even more worrisome, because it's first time it happened to this level. When you being in the umbrella, big umbrella of being a black person, or big umbrella of being a Muslim person, is not as the level as worrisome is much lesser when you are specifically a minute community being assigned and targeted based on your ethnicity. So that's what also makes me worrisome as in person, but as in general, as an American, I'm just concerned what's going on in our nation right now.
You were putting out some numbers of, I think, Somali citizens that are citizens, discussing the numbers of the citizenship status and documentation status. Is that for Portland specifically? Where is the data that you're citing?
That's a national level. I think was publicized. Is a lot of media has reported that, so it's nothing specific. That's where I'm quoting from. I can share with you
Gotcha.
what the source. But what I want to share with you is 99.9% of the Somali community arrived here as a refugee that been vetted by the federal government when they were in the host country before they came to the United States. They came here with the status of start with the green card, with the residency, and eventually majority of them after 5 years were allowed to graduate to become a citizen. And you have to bear in mind the incoming refugees from Somalia was pretty much stopped after 2017 based on the decisions made by the federal government. And even during the Biden administration, even though he restarted, it was trickled down. So the numbers of people that came through this refugee program has been slowed down to almost a small, minute amount of numbers. So majority of people that came after 20, before 2017, they've been 5 years or more, and most of them became U.S. citizens. But another data that we also know is 53 to 54% of the Somalis Americans that live in the United States are actually born in the United States, so there's no question about their citizenship status. They're not so-called naturalized citizens, which most adults are who came here, but most or anybody born here by birth rights, they are U.S. citizens.
How large is the Somali community in Portland?
The estimate rate range between 10, 12 to 15,000. We don't have actual data, but we know all the agencies that serve the communities or work with the communities, like City of Portland, Multnomah County, or Oregon Health Authority. Many of them have included Somali language, and that's what's telling me that there must be a huge population because they select the language based on the individuals they serve. But the data has not been, we have been working with authorities and we're trying to nail the numbers. But we know in 2016, third most spoken language Portland Public School was Somali. So is David Nicholas School District. So that kind of we can decipher, we can use that to interpolate that the number that is that we think about between 12 to 15,000. That's the best estimate that we have right now.
If this fraud scheme turns out to be nationwide, I mean, obviously we don't know a lot about it right now. If it turns out to be kind of people that are linked nationwide and going to different states and looking to target various states, would you be surprised to find out that there was potentially a link here in Oregon?
I'll be very surprised because the population that came from another states are very limited. I'm always going to make sure that no society, no community is perfect. We like any other community, we have our good, the bad, ugly among us. But I would be very surprised and very shocked if I seen this is national level. That's something that somehow carrying to as people because it's our DNA, who we are. I mean, that's always that's the word I'm trying to use nicely. Something that doesn't require should be a lot brain not involved when you are trying to put a one brush entire community and say that they're all this and that kind of short-sighted view of any society. It doesn't matter whether in general the Black community, the whether you talk about the African American community, you talk about the Muslim community, or any specific community like Somali community, or the Middle Eastern community. You can never you put one brush and say they're all the same. I mean, that is has own adjectives and own definition of using they're all the same. I always tell people be careful and analyze individuals and per person. We're all individual, just like any society, any American society person. That's who we are. We're not that different. We might look, we have different looks, we have different probably accent in some cases, and maybe ethnic background. But that's fabric for America, and every society have they came through this, and we're just going through that process.
You were talking to me earlier about some of the incidents that you have seen since this rhetoric started coming about. Can you discuss that a little bit? And what are you hearing and what are you seeing in your
I mean,
community?
there's a lot of social medias. Specifically, I can talk about what's happening here in Oregon. Part of it where people are just putting names, calling names about the society they're here to, things like that. It's kind of like a very hostile words used. And those some people in the social media actually, one of them that was posted by a certain local group here and vilifying and even putting up pictures of our offices and doing some kind of generalization that one black paintbrush type of stuff. But we are very confident because of the support we get from the community. We have a lot of individuals who personally contact our team or myself offering support if we what kind of support we need, including coming here and standing with us and God forbid there's any trouble going on. But also I want to give credit to the Portland Police Bureau who have done more rounds and even park here to kind of give us extra security and sense of security because it's not there's two different things having feeling secure and also getting secure. But when you feel that you feel safe, it's very important, especially in situations like this. And we're receiving that from the mainstream majority of society. So that's why individuals who are rogue don't worry us.
Um, Is there a message that you have for Oregon leaders of both parties? Would you give both parties the same message, or is there one message for one party and one message for another? Like, yeah, how is that communication?
I'm not a politician. I'm an individual, of course, like just like every American. I have some favorite groups over another. But the message I want to say is, if you wanted to help us out, if you're really concerned and genuine about helping the community, come to us, come talk to us, and ask us how we want to be helped. And just be careful. I mean, your name, you can be protected, but we can be harassed. And once you keep that in your mind, I think you realize that. We're not, even though we are the same, all citizens, but the harassment can be specific to us. We can be targeted. If somebody wants to do that, God forbid. And so my message to you is to speak out for us if you want to do that. We appreciate that, because silence is can be translated to agreement. So, but nevertheless, come us and call us and email to us and offer your support, and that's very important to us. And it means a lot to us, because that's what we share to the community, that we have the main majority of the people standing with us.
Have you reached out to any of the party leaders to discuss, what's going on right now?
There are party leaders that are individuals, leaders in this part of the world, that reach out to us specifically and offer to support. And I always, my advice to them was like, we appreciate it. We'll share with you what our need is, but let's avoid that big public togetherness, because that can only bring a lot of negative attention. But definitely, we can do a lot more in private, and we welcome that. Anyone who wants to do that and support us, we welcome that.
So you're just trying not to play into the political divide by standing
That's
with.
what we're trying to avoid, because that would only incite more division, only incite more verbal abuse, more language, and so far I hope stays that it can potentially create a violence. That's one of the reasons we thought, well, our motto, Sako motto, was created to communicate and sit down across each other and talk. And in that, once we start talking to each other, we become two humans, and that's when you develop a relationship, and it would eliminate any kind of thing that probably prejudgment as a humans that we had. Because at the end of the day, we're all humans. We're doing exactly the same thing. We're struggling, going out there to make a life and raise a family and be part of this good member of the society. And to generalize a whole group because one person's action or few people's action is wrong to any society, any groups in this part of the world. And it's not a just person, man or female. We should never do that, and we should not generalize the entire team, entire group, whether the ethnicity or race or religion, based on the actions of few people.
With regard to the people that are putting out those messages of hate, the individuals who've screenshotted your business and sent it out on social medias and your organization, I should say, because it's not a business, right? It's not, you guys are nonprofit, right?
You're a nonprofit, yes, 501(c)(3), correct.
So, when you're seeing these individuals making these hateful comments or posting your nonprofit online and things like that, what message do you have for them?
The message is get to know. Don't be ignorant and make a judgment because you read on social media or somebody told you about it. Make your own individual research. I do that all the time. Anytime I hear something, I go to different groups and listen to and understand. And you're always welcome. Come talk to us. We're a nonprofit organization that serves every human being to walk. We have a policy of every human being. Go read our Google reviews, what people are saying about us, and get to call us, talk to us, and get to know us. We're your neighbors. We're not new to this part of the world, by the way. Anybody doesn't know is the first Somali student graduate from what was Oregon College before becoming University of Oregon State University. First Somali person moved to in the modern time is 1973. And one of them actually used to clerk for then Vic Atia, was state senator, I believe, a representative in 1973 or 4. I myself came here 44 years ago to go to school here. Unfortunately, the Civil War have prevented me from going back to my country of origin. So most of us came here as a refugee, welcomed by the U.S. government. We did not come here because we wanted to have economic refugees. We came here because of the safety and the welcome of the United States government and the generosity of the U.S. government and the people. That's why we're here. So I want to make sure people understand that we're here because of your generosity and the welcome. And don't listen to all this words that we're getting something special. No one's getting anything special. And anybody that comes out here, we serve everybody equal, whatever service that we have through the programs that we have. Everyone. As a matter of fact, we serve 14 different languages, and anyone that walks in that door, any human being, that's what I tell them. During the COVID, we used to feed even those who are homeless, houseless, were the only one allowed to pick their own hands because they couldn't carry the boxes. So that's what we do. I've been asked that question before, if you only serve Somali, or if you only serve specific groups. No, we don't. We serve every human being, every Oregonian, according to the funds that we receive, actually goes to every human being that lives in Oregon.
What does your nonprofit specialize in? What services are you providing?
We do healthcare is one thing we do. We do also have rental assistance. Currently, we have another program for houseless people to be housed. Um, we also have a direct prevention, suicide prevention. We do have after school programs. Any of these programs, our staff is all fluent in English and also Somali as well, but all speak English. So if you come to our doors, you're not going to have any translation issues if you speak English or Somali. And we'll whatever service that we have, you will be part of it. We also help people SNAP programs if they need to, because some of the especially people that don't speak English, they have issue with overpayment because they don't understand the system, how the system pays. So these are what we do. But also we help kids applying for college apply for the FAFSA program as well. So make sure they can be successful, because SACO's main mission is to create a better citizens. And to create better citizens, you have to create a successful citizens. And we also have a good relationship with the law enforcement, whether it's U.S. Attorney's Office, whether it's a Bureau of Investigation, whether it's Portland Police Bureau and Multnomah County Sheriff's Office. Pretty much we work with them. We encourage them to be part of the fabric of America. But one of the claims, like you have to be there like overnight. Everything takes time. And in every community, if you go back to the history, which I read a lot about history, the Italian Americans, the Jewish Americans, the Irish Americans, every Polish American, every group went through this cycle, and eventually this coming together of staying together at the beginning. Eventually, America is over 300 million people. Everybody will be absorbed, but give every community their time, and do not judge because of where you are today. You have to look at it 50 years or 100 or 60 years from now. I can assure you, most of the kids that were born here, they either don't speak Somali or this Somali is broken, is because of the part of the assimilation. But you cannot force assimilation to be overnight. Somebody who came as an adult, I'm not going to be willing to just change overnight. So you have to give me the time to do that, and also be part of the fabric of America. But that's what SACO is really was created to help facilitate that process. It is a process, and it doesn't be overnight. And by somebody being louder or calling names does not help. You have to make people feel welcome, because eventually we're here to stay, because this is a home to us. Most of our kids, like, as I told you earlier, were born here. They're American citizens, and this is the only country they know. And we're just going to be part of this society and part of Oregon, and build Oregon just like everybody else. I worked over almost 30 years of engineering, building America, and making it better for all of us. So I just wanted to share that.
Yeah. You talked to me earlier about how this organization was formed. You said in 2011, is that correct?
Yes, it was actually the 2010. We have a tree lighting incident where this young Somali boy, Mohammed Mahmoud, teenager who was going to first year college at Oregon State University, was accused of bombing downtown, was arrested for that. So the community gets spooked at the time, because those days, Oregonians, every article written, people were actually allowed to write their own feedback. So there were a lot of negative words going out, and eventually that's first time I actually came to the limelight and went to the media and basically spoke and said, by the way, the father is the one that brought here. But when that happens, the community got together and they want to create a voice, united voice. And they did not know, so they realized that they need to have a united voice. After 2 weeks of meeting, they invited me to their meeting, and they created Somali American Council of Oregon, which the mission for SACO was actually interface Somali community and also the all kind of government agency, or the whether it's governor or the mayor's office, or the senator's office, or the all Portland police, the federal governments. That's our submission of SACO. That's how we started, and that's what we still stand for. Even though we do the services, it was something the community again came to us 2017 to open an office to give service because they've seen the outcome of the work we've been doing the previous 6 years, and they're the one that paid for this office for the first 9 months, and eventually we were able to get grants and donations that can support. And thank God we've been here during the COVID. We supported a lot of families. We distributed about 1,000 food boxes in the community, and everybody that lives in this area either got those food boxes or the vaccinations, which we became one of the few organizations in the state of Oregon recognized by CDC as the vaccine champions, because we had the trust of the society, of the community, because every person that work here, as Sako, is people who have compassion, who care for a human being, and treat everybody with respect and dignity, regardless of the background. That's something that taught what I learned from America. That's what I became American, because it's by choice, and I've seen the quality of America offered when I was choosing to become an American citizen, and that's what I live, and that's what I train all my staff and our team to work on, to fulfill that American basics of life.
So it's not the first time that your community in Oregon has seen pushback because of one selected incident, or in this case, obviously a little bit of a larger incident but you've been through this before. What has that taught you, and what are you telling your community members to help you?
This is not the first time, of course. 2011 was one thing. That also the one for the tree lighting incident also, it was happened November of 2010. We went through this. So one of the advice that I have people is to mind your own, continue life as you are. Don't try to be scared by the rhetoric out there. And don't be fearsome. Don't be fearless. Don't be. Let me try to use the correct. Be careful about about your surrounding, especially if you're female traveling, because most of our females wear the hijab. Make sure that is always looking around, and also if anything harass you, that you report it. But also I tell them generally America is safe. That's why we live recently I went to Africa and other countries. We live in glass windows, and generally America is safe for all of us. Should not have don't have a feeling of safety and being unsafe, because again, it's a feeling. It's not. You can have 10 police cars driving by every day, but if you don't feel safe inside by yourself because of what you tell yourself, it can create unnecessary stress in your life. So I said, and I said this will also just going to be a storm that'll pass, just another storm. We endured this one before, and we will survive this one also. It's just going to go on. Our attention would be something else. That at least for the case of living in America have taught me.
It sounds like you have, you deal a lot in the nonprofit world. You understand how these funding streams work. You understand how some of the COVID funding streams have worked. Your organization does not have any daycares. I don't think I looked it up. There's no.
No, we don't have a daycare. But I say if somebody wants to be a bad person, they don't need to have a daycare. They can find anything to violate. I mean, you can be selling the drugs on the streets and still violate the site, and that's even more damaging than somebody who's stealing money. But we live honestly, and I tell people living honestly. If you want to live in survive in this part of the world, you have to be honest. You have to live in do the right thing, and then you'll have a better life. And there's no shortcut in life. Go ahead.
Do you think there could be any daycares that have Somali owners in Oregon that are doing similar things?
To my knowledge, I don't think they even exist. If they do exist, then maybe there are no people who privately do at home, like a single mother who have kids who probably going to say, I want to feed kids my neighbors to do that so privately. But I've not seen an open one daycare that I'm aware of in this part of the world that actually are that with a Somali name or owned by Somali. I will not say they don't exist, but I have no knowledge of that one. And it's something I actually check intentionally. I check the Oregon State Registry, and I don't recall seeing one, but I will double check again. But there's no big daycare like the ones you'll see in other Minneapolis, Minnesota area that have a lot of students. There's no such thing to my knowledge.
Anything else you want to add that we didn't cover today?
I appreciate it for giving us a voice. I appreciate it. That will be an opportunity, and I hope even if we change one person to realize that we're just Oregonians, American citizens like them, and we're just trying to make life better for a lot of people who have the most need. People need to remember refugees is the first 5 years. After that, you become an immigrant and you move on to become part of society fabric of America. Just be clear on that one. There's nothing special going money designed for that one. And coming to this country, even the money they used to settle has not changed for the last 10 years or so. So it doesn't even pay for 1 or 2 months of rent when we used to pay up almost about 8 months of rent. So it's very difficult time for right now to come here as refugees to begin with. But that's what I want to share. Just understand and take your time. Just go reach and talk to the community. And there's Somali restaurants and business owned by the community. Come to our center, talk to us, and get to know us better. And you'll find out we have the same challenge, same the thing we all worry about, the weather coming out, the rain or the snow and everything, the challenge, the increase of groceries at Fred Meyer's and Winco, just like the same challenge we have. There's no special preference. Don't believe in this rhetoric and people are talking about that one. And don't, just change your mind. America, it's for all of us. And we'll move together and we're part of the history of America.
All right. Thank you so much, Musse, for taking the time
Thank
to
you
do
very
this. I
much. It's
appreciate
a
it. I hope you have
pleasure.
a good rest of your
Thank
day.
you very much. Thank you for reaching out to us. Appreciate it.